Hey, everybody who's watching this recorded. I'm going to be hanging out here. You can fast forward the first few minutes, I think, pretty safely. Matter of fact, we might even just edit this part out. Never know. All right. Well, let me go ahead and get everybody in here. I'll even let Note Taker Bot get in here. Greg, how are you?
Good, Josh. How you doing?
Matthew, welcome. Bob, how are you?
Hey, Josh.
All right. My suggestion is to put this in gallery view because we'll probably have probably more than 20 or so that folks that'll pop in here. So otherwise, it gets a little bebops around quite a bit. Catherine, welcome. How are you? I'm Martin. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Excellent. All right. Good deal. Any great experiences this week? How's the weather in your part of the country?
I added another mile on the odometer this year, yesterday.
That's quite a feat. Congratulations. Now I was just talking to somebody else and having events to go to this year. So I'm going with my wife to an event. She's speaking at an event, just scheduled 2 conferences. I'm like, wow, back to the real world. And then even a vacation with my son. We're going to go up to Cedar Point and he's overdue for that. So hi, Aya, how are you?
Good. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Cedar Point, that's in my neck of the woods, I think.
Yeah.
You should come visit.
Yeah. How far are you from Sandusky?
Like an hour.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, hi, Heidi. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
So yeah, Heidi, you were in a beautiful part of the part of the world. Where were you?
I was in Costa Rica.
Nice. Rejuvenating, I hope.
I was, well, yeah, doing a little bit of detoxing, a little rejuvenating.
Good for you.
So it was fun. Yeah.
Excellent.
But good to be
Excellent. Back. Christopher, how are you? Chris, how are you?
I am blessed. Thank you, Josh. How's everybody doing?
Excellent. Hey, Gab, how are you?
I'm very good, Josh. Good to be here, man.
It's late your time, so thanks for having date night with us.
No problem.
Yeah, it's always tough to kind of pick the perfect time for this because we have folks over in Australia, we've got folks in Europe, so usually one of those two is gonna, kind of be out a little bit.
It's not 9 o'clock. It's fine. 9 till 10 works for me. It's fine.
Excellent. All right, good deal. And I recognize Growth Boss Academy, but have we chatted yet?
We have not. I was invited by Deirdre.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. And your name was?
My name is Jade.
Jade, welcome. Oh, looks, here comes Deirdre over here. So, all right. There's Deirdre. Welcome. I think, Carol, if I didn't say hi to you. All right, good deal. Well, welcome everybody. And then I think Lisa just popped on, and we'll probably have Amanda for just a little bit as well. I'd really love to start off independent of the work that we're doing together. I would really love to have anybody who has had a win in the past 30 days in your business. I'd really love for you to just take a second and share what that is. Something good that happened, some new partnership, new client, customer, something that you've just launched, something that you're proud of, something that you put a lot of work into, and now it's available for the masses. I'd love for you to share something that's happened for you. And matter of fact, if we go, I'll tell you what, let's make this our little welcome thing. And so even if you have to grasp at straws a little bit, just anything awesome that's happened for you or anything positive that's happened for you, either business or even personal would be fine. Greg, do you mind if I start with you? Something good that's happened for your business or so in the past 30 days?
Absolutely. A couple things. We've just brought on, we're onboarding 2 new consultants. One is at the contracting stage, one is a pre-contracting stage, but really excited about what they have to offer. And I mean, I don't want to, you know, toss any lightning, but Josh, you and I have connected in the last 30 days and really excited about the work we're about to do.
Yeah.
So those are the big wins, and we've got some good client stuff going along as well. So we brought in a contractor first time. We had a really great experience with a client. So some big wins on our end.
That's great. Greg, and go ahead and explain what you do.
So we are a consulting firm. We help connect people in strategy, behavior and strategy, and all those things in between.
Excellent. Excellent. Matthew Dunn, and any good wins for the past 30 days?
Oh, hi, Josh, and hi, everyone. I'm Matthew Dunn with Campaign Genius. We provide a real-time email content platform. Big win in the last couple of weeks. One of the biggest companies in the email space, a company called Litmus, their top brass reached out, and it kind of smelled like acquisition, poking around. Yeah. So to have built a profile to get on their radar felt pretty good.
Yeah, I remember, man. Yeah, raise your hand if anybody else has been in that position. That is exciting. Like, yeah, it's that happened with Savings Angel. It was Retail Me Not. They really started digging into us, and ultimately it wasn't a good fit. But still, you know, it's exciting when you know what kind of budgets they've got and that sort of thing. It's like, ooh, we could do some really good stuff together. So congratulations on that. That's exciting. Well, you definitely, Matthew, you've got a great. I mean, to me, like exit's inevitable for you. Like what you've developed, what you've designed is just so valuable. So it's. Yeah, so some company's going to be very lucky. So, hey, Catherine, any wins over the past 30 days?
Yeah, so I just onboarded another team coaching group. So I've got 10 people that onboarded on Friday, and then I am testing a 7-step framework that basically encompasses everything I've done for the past 20 years around business vitality. Tested that with a prospect at the end of May, and should be following up with him mid-June into June. So that'll grow the coaching business into more business vitality and strategic planning, how to tell your story effectively, et cetera.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Congratulations, Catherine. And by the way, also in your win, go ahead and just mention what it is that you do. Martin Harshberger, any wins the past 30 days?
Well, it's supposed to start raining in 3 days, so that'll.
Oh, I'll take it.
We've got flash floods up here. No, just I partnered with another company on a software analysis tool. We're going to market jointly. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Excellent. Excellent. Martin, great to hear. I got you next on my Hollywood Squares here.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm Aya Schlochter, architecture support and business coach for creative entrepreneurs. My win is I'm running so many businesses, but I'm taking like 4 days off a week. So I'm trying to spend more time with my kids. So there's nice. More of a balance. And this weekend I'm going on a work sprint from Thursday to Monday. So I can get all my work done and I can enjoy the summer. Not all my work, but most of my work, so I can spend time with my kids, because running a business is just too overwhelming, but spending quality time with my growing kids is more important.
Yeah, excellent. Congratulations. Absolutely a win. Heidi, I know you've had a big win the past 30 days, and what a great experience for you.
Yeah, so that was it. So Heidi Solomon Orlick, I run a company called Girls Who Sell, which is focused on closing the gender gap in B2B sales and building the largest pipeline of diverse early stage female sales talent. And so, yeah, the retreat was definitely a win. I just did a 3-week wellness retreat, so I get it in terms of trying to achieve balance. But came back and today signed a book deal for Girls Who Sell. So we're going to be publishing a book to amplify the voices of women in sales. So I'm super excited about that. And also was approached by Oregon State to pilot our training program and be a speaker for their fall semester and a judge for their sales certificate program. So yeah, so came back to some good wins and certainly excited about getting our stuff launched.
Yeah, I love that. You know, sometimes I've experienced this in business where you just kind of almost kind of like relax and enjoy the flow of the universe and stop pushing. And all of a sudden, like the log jam just breaks, and all of a sudden, like great stuff happens. I think if you're in business for any length of time, you've experienced that at one point. So congratulations on that. Chris, I got you next with the thumbs up there. And any great wins the past 30 days?
Yeah, I was just doing the thumbs up. So what you're saying, something just letting go, just the universe kind of flows in and just you get out of your own way and stuff happens. So I just wanted to give you a thumbs up for that. On my end, for people who don't know me, my name is Christopher Dedian. I optimize people want to perform with my company, Dedian Enterprises, and we help people such as entrepreneurs, CEOs of Fortune 500s. So a win, I just re-signed a client that I had, so up them again. Have my French program that's going to be live for the 3rd version. We did some updates with my partner, so we're going to be launching in a month or so. So excited about that. And overall, everything is going great. And another win, I actually just bought a standing desk, just renovating my office.
Good for you.
Yeah,
here we go.
Doing speeches and coaching, I'm like, I'm done sitting down. So just the aspect that you can stand up exactly as you're bringing it up.
Yeah,
definitely. I'll follow you. I agree. We'll be more active.
Yeah, it's nice. Especially. So I've got unfortunately, I have both a sore back and plantar fasciitis. So if I bounce back and forth between the two, then none of them gets too triggered. So, but I like the standing desk for energy. Right? I just really, I just feel so much more alive when I'm standing. I didn't think I would use it as much. And by the way, if you have an IKEA in your region, that's where I got mine. And they're very economical. It's great. Well done. Well built. Excellent. Chris, thank you so much. Gav, also first mastermind, welcome. I'd love to have you share what you do and any wins the past 30 days.
Yeah, sure. Name's Gav Gillibrand, and I'm a weight loss coach based over here in the UK. Specialize in helping busy guys and girls lose 20 pounds or more in about 12 weeks or less, sometimes a lot more than that. Wins, well, this is my first mastermind, so I started working with you a couple of weeks ago, Josh. That's a great win. I've got 2 clients in the one day, 2 days ago, so that was a big day for me.
Aren't those days great?
Fantastic. Yeah, so good payday. Another couple of clients that are going to be well chuffed in 3 months where they lose 20-30 pounds. I've been on 8 different podcasts in the last 2 weeks, including yours, Josh. So I've been working with a lot of people, getting the name out there. So it's been a great 30 days.
Yeah, congratulations. Jade and Deirdre.
Sorry, I'll go. I don't know why it's so hard to find the unmute button when you need it. So Deirdre Chen here, and Jade's in my team as well. So we help female e-commerce entrepreneurs sell now and sell out using the Viralocity formula. So we have a group coaching program that Jade sort of helps on the sales side. And then since working with Josh, we've kind of created a new, almost like the ascension to that, which is a virtual CMO offer, where we also do some of the things for them. So I guess the biggest win is, Josh, I think we spoke about that offer maybe like 2 weeks ago or something. We onboarded our first client actually in that offer last week.
That's amazing.
We're potentially going to close someone else on that tomorrow.
Yeah. Deirdre, I'm so happy about that. I want to let anyone on, in this group, anyone watching this recorded, if you ever want to have a conversation about your offer, your product, like Elisa, Amanda, and I love geeking out on offers and like the value stack and the language and the sales language around that. I love it. I absolutely love having that conversation. Call on us anytime, and just love to help out with that. Obviously, the more we can help you sell, more revenue, the better for everybody. So we're just thrilled for that. Elisa, I'll save you for last in terms of wins, and then I'll just have you maybe share just quick update from the kind of a operations vantage points and things that you've seen. Bob DePascal.
Hey, Josh. Hey, everyone.
Hey.
How's everyone doing today? Thank you for having me again. Big win this week. I would say this. I was on a podcast with Deirdre actually. And we're getting great feedback, by the way, Deirdre. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
That was awesome. It's good to get your name out there and have support from other people in the business world. So thank you. Bob DiPasquale, I'm the founding partner of Initiate Impact. We're a modern financial firm where we provide financial management for purpose-driven families. And we are excited that the summer is upon us and people are getting out there traveling and doing fun stuff again. So I'm excited for that period of time. And I just got my second COVID shot. So if I fall asleep here.
Been there, done that.
Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, you bet, Bob. No taker bot. You stay in the corner. All right. You do what you're supposed to do. All right. No taker bot has had lots of wins. Let me, for anybody who doesn't, listen, I am going to, with a full throat, endorse Perfect Recall. I want to say it's like $15 a month. Have it join all of your calls. Let me just share with you really quick. If you're not familiar with what it does. So it joins your calls, it records the video. And then so here's a podcast interview I did earlier. So I could go through and I say, so let me explain the process. I think I kind of shared this last time as well, but in case anybody, please make this part of your stack of your sales process. So what we do is I have my social media person, Mianne, log into my Perfect Recall account. And then what she does is, so here's how we do it. Let me explain the full process if you're not doing this already. So when I have, let's say I have record a podcast and I have use Zapier connected to Zoom, or I forget what it is. It's connected, maybe Go High Level. But anyway, there's a notification that gets into a Slack channel. Okay. Of a recording being done. And if you want some help with this, happy to help out using Zapier, however you want to do this. But what I do is a channel in Slack gets filled in and says, hey, a new recording was just done. And then what I will do is I will add an icon to it. I add a little rocket ship emoji response icon to it. And that lets Mianne know, go for it. Yeah. And so what she does then is, and by the way, if I say, yeah, I don't think we're ever going to work with this person, then I'll put an X on it. And I say, you don't have to worry about this one. But if I think that, yeah, this one's a really good lead. So then what she does is she'll go into like Ellen McElhenney, for example, would be a good lead. So she'll go through, she'll sort through here, like, okay, that looks like she'll find a mic drop soundbite moment. Look at how easy this is. She highlights, maybe about a 30-second clip, click on make clip. And then what this will do, this is how easy this is, like no more video editing. And then what she'll do is it takes about 15, 20 seconds. The video will appear. We'll just go ahead and let it wait. And then what'll happen is, there you go. So now you just click here, download clip, and then within 60 minutes, sometimes, of my podcast being done, she's already created the clips. She's already getting them posted on our Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram stories, whatever, and tagging the guest. So now what you've got is, again, if the goal is we just really want to invest into that relationship, a la just keep on giving, keep on being an awesome person. Like, people love being celebrated. Not only is it going to make them feel great, but it's good for you because they're going to take that video, they're going to share it to all of their audiences. So yeah, it's perfectrecall.app. I would just do the month to month, because I think it's like $15. And a little secret on that one, on that as well, is that it gives you, I think, 30 recordings a month. But if you delete them as you use them up, as you finish them, then I think it resets it. So if I'm not mistaken, Elisa. So yeah, so it's basically 15 is probably all you'll ever need. So anyway, love the tool. Nico Johnson, you snuck in there. Nico, I'm going to get to you in just a second. We're just going through. We got two more people. I think I'm not missing anybody else. Carol Schultz, I don't know if you're available, but Carol, any wins over the past 30 days?
Hi, thanks. Yeah, I've had my day's been a total shit show, and I just got home and I'm trying to make some lunch, so I left myself on mute and with no video.
No worries, no worries. What you having for lunch?
I'm in dire need of a shower. What?
What are you having for lunch?
It's a vegan dish with shredded carrots and red cabbage and scallions and Brussels sprouts, and I think I'm forgetting one other thing. And
well, that's a win
with a wonderful peanut sauce and a little bit of soba noodles.
There we go. Good deal.
Yeah. I've got all kinds of interesting things going on, but I'm not willing to share about them until next month's mastermind.
All right. All right. Way to keep us in suspense. It's cliffhanger until next month.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Thanks, Carol. I appreciate it. And Carol, by the way, tell everyone what you do.
I am a consultant and coach with 30 years experience, and I spent most of my career in retained executive search. And I have pivoted my business last year because for a multitude of reasons that nobody needs to be bored with. But and all I'm doing now is focusing on helping companies either build or rebuild a talent-centric organization.
I love it. I love it. Carol,
goes with leadership coaching is required to go with that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Carol. Hey, Rebecca R. Are you available?
I'm here. Oh, wait a minute, I got my screen thing. There you go. Boom, I'm here. Hi, how you doing?
Good. Any wins over the past 30 days? Rebecca Roch, our virtual creative director.
Yes. Yes, we actually closed a client yesterday. We haven't gotten paid yet, but they accepted the SOW and they said they're going to go forward. And that's one of the biggest ones we've gotten this year. So we're pretty excited about that. And my women's certification should be done here any minute. So
cool. What is that?
The women-owned business certification. So I can
WOSB
get contracts. Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of those, by the way. I don't mean to get too sidetracked on stuff like this, but kind of going back to my authority and authority indicators and branding. There are people that are looking to do business with, like, if you have any kind of designation, Heidi, and again, it's doing what we can to support. And there's certain designations that people are looking, as a military veteran-owned business. I was uncomfortable with that at first, but if people see the opportunity to support a business, that as either it's aligned values, it's whatever it is. Even so much as, even if you don't necessarily have a designation you can apply for, but at least, kind of leading with your why and your mission, purpose, values. And people are like, yes, you support that, that cause, I support that cause. Like, there's so many different ways. And again, when we look at, how people do business today, and we look at consumer behavior today, it's never been more important, particularly if you pay attention to millennials and Gen Z. Cause marketing is absolutely it's a requirement today. Speaking of which, Nico Johnson, I'm gonna throw it to you. Nico, I know you've had some wins this year.
Yeah, I'm in Mexico again for the next, I guess, 3.5 weeks. So if the internet is glitchy, I'm sorry. That's why it sucks. It's like 15 megabytes. But I'm late for the best possible reason that you'll appreciate, and then I'll tell everybody what I do. I just closed our first podcast in the Suncast Media Network, like before this call. So,
and what does that mean?
Yeah, so Suncast Media, and I'll tell you more about what I do. I have a podcast called Suncast. I've been in the clean energy industry for the last 15 plus years. I have from nothing created a persona of importance and sort of thought leader for myself in the clean energy industry, predominantly in solar, through the podcast, but through my sort of beast mode networking. And I help others in our space create domain authority without losing their life in the process. Most people are afraid of how much time investment is required to have that influence that Josh teaches us how to have. I do that for folks that are in my network. So our media team basically makes it really easy for someone to have domain authority and have presence in social media, but we're not a PR agency. We help others stand out without having to spend their from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. doing it. We have a website launch that's coming Friday And we are launching the Suncast Network formally in September. So I just closed on our first podcast. That's going to be it. It's called Climate Avengers, which is also an angel list syndicate that I'm an LP in. The second is called Scaling Clean, again, to clean energy. And the Suncast Podcast Network is like the high rise of content for anybody that wants to learn what's happening in ESG and clean energy.
Excellent. Yeah, Nico, just also, I'm going to brag on you just a little bit, and then I want to get to Elisa. Actually, I'm going to get to Lisa, and then I'll go over to Elisa. So Nico, also, do you mind just real quick, so Nico, when the new administration came in the United States here, you were tapped to basically run the inauguration event for the Department of Energy in Granholm coming in, and you were able to run the online event for the Department of Energy inauguration night, right?
Yeah,
I'm kind of messing it up a little bit, but it's
fine.
a big deal, really big deal.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Yeah, so we got tapped to build the backend platform and run the event. We had 3,600 people, including Secretary of Energy Granholm and Gina McCarthy, and a litany of badass guests, including Train, who literally did a bespoke recording video set for our event. So if you want to watch that, you can go to Suncast Media on YouTube and you can watch the whole thing. It's freaking amazing. And I've never been more impressed with my own team than that night. I literally fell on the floor crying and said to my wife, we just fucking produced 4 hours of television. Yeah, it was amazing.
Nice. And finally, Lisa, could you, the question we went around and asked is a win that you've had in the past 30 days, and also just kind of weave in what you do.
Okay, sorry for coming in late, you guys. I'm so sorry. We had a client emergency this morning, so had to deal with it. So I apologize. Yes, so a win. Well, we are, you probably know this one, but we are building everything in our new platform. And so rolling that out, we actually just rolled out our whole platform to our clients.
Yeah.
We had a little hiccup this morning. So it happens, you guys, it happens.
Yeah.
I was dealing with that. And what was the second part of that? I'm sorry.
Well, just for your win in the past 30 days.
Oh, that was my win. That was actually my win, getting that rolled out to our clients.
Oh yeah, congratulations. Elisa knows that win. That's
yes. Okay.
Elisa and Amanda have done great. Yes.
Yes, and we've been building, we have a kind of similar to you, Josh, we've been building this massive whole program behind the scenes, and it's really amazing and incredible that we got that rolled out to our clients. So
excellent.
And I'm Lisa Crisali. I'm with my husband and I are with our company we've had for 18 plus years. And we are business growth strategists for the health and wellness professionals. That's what we do.
Excellent. I appreciate that. Elisa, real quick, give us a win that's something that you've done, and then any updates from a kind of a director of operation position.
Well, a win company-wide is we are getting our 100th client.
Yeah, isn't that
So
crazy?
that is a big win for us.
Yeah.
A personal win is getting the Go High Level rolled out for my clients. I'm not a tech person.
And Lisa froze there for a second. I also, we have, along with that, launching that, we've now brought in some really good talent to improve that.
Like I can run. Oh no, I'm sorry. Some internet.
I was filling in while you were frozen. Go ahead.
Yeah, the internet went wonky. So no, I'm not a tech person. So, I'm learning as we go. So forgive me if I'm a little slow getting back on some of the answers. It's because I'm trying to catch myself up too. So, but operationally, as we have now switched everything over to Go High Level, we're able to turn lead gen back on, because obviously we couldn't have it running when we were moving calendars. It just wouldn't make sense. And a lot of you have gone to.
Oh no, it froze again. And Nico was the one that was concerned about his internet. Elisa's just in Lake Nona in Orlando here. So, yeah. So I mean, I can kind of fill in on that. So we're really excited. Oh, back to you. You froze again.
I don't know what's going on with the internet. It's been like this for a week. Anyway, so we're getting everybody moved over, turning the lead gen back on. I wanted to let you know that, recently LinkedIn had started limiting connections on a weekly basis. And I wanted you to all know that we don't just put all of our eggs into one lead gen basket. And we have been, as a matter of fact, right before this call, we were exploring another option for lead gen. So as we roll out the GHL, the lead gen should start picking back up and really hopefully making a difference in your company.
Oh God, yes. So if anyone's ever done any outreach on LinkedIn, historically, you've been able to do about 100 connection requests a day if you've got a decent following. So LinkedIn about 30, 45 days ago, cut that to, instead of 700 a week, you now get 100 a week. So it's a major slash. So thankfully, it's one of 7 major levers that we pull on. And we've been, listen, we geek out and obsess on all things lead gen because we're really good at it generally. And so we're always looking for new technologies. And we've actually found some really good ways around that limitation as we've been working with some of our top tier experts on that. And our team members have been doing a lot of research. So if we were relying on your, and again, we'll work with you personally on this, so I don't want to take too much time on anything individually, but just in case you're like, whoa, yeah, we had a little bit of slowdown in the lead volume from LinkedIn over the past 30 days, that we've figured out how to resolve and get around LinkedIn's limitations. By the way, one thing I didn't want to forget, if there's somebody on in here and you've kind of heard what they do and you would like to invite them to be a guest on your podcast or connect with them otherwise, by all means, you're welcome to do that. Certainly you're welcome to just message directly in the chat to everybody. You're welcome to share your guest link, or you're certainly also welcome to DM anyone as well. So anyway, so there's that. Another update on just generally announcements on lead volume. One thing that we've really kind of kept the powder dry on is I have an enormous list of people that we've built up, in our email list. They're all like 6-7 figure business owners, either that have been through our podcast or have otherwise we've connected with over the years. So we have when we've sent out email blasts, we've done so very sparingly. We are now going to do that with much more regularity. So we're going to send that. We're going to start with twice a month. We're going to start really showcasing great shows that we are starting to launch, particularly where we know that there's a really good fit with our audience, with yours in particular. So just know that there's going to be some really good lead flow coming in from there as well. And it's a really great list. So that we're working on that. I'm trying to think if there's any other like announcement type things that, Elisa, is there anything else that you can think of? Elisa, I think you're froze again. So, all right. So here's the subject I want to get into. And that is that there's 2 things that I've heard as I've been kind of communicating with people. Number one is I'd really love to discuss reframing objections. Because I'll tell you that internally as a team, I have sometimes been communicating with somebody and they share an objection. And I've had team members who have just kind of marked them lost. And I'm like, wait a minute, no, that's not a real objection, right? So objections, one book I'm going to recommend, if I'm only halfway through it, but it is, let me see, I'm gonna have to pull this up on Audible, and I'll ask maybe if someone else has read this book, I'll let you give us your quick report on this. But it is, oh no, it's in, I got it from the library. It's in my Libby app. It is Never Split the Difference. Chris Voss, who has read that book? All right. Who can share? All right, Gab
Dude,
or
this is
Nico
not-
or Matthew,
Okay,
can you give us maybe just some thoughts or
so
favorite
raise your hand if you've
aspects from the
interviewed
book?
Chris.
Look at there's like competition for like.
I'm listening to it at the moment on Audible. I'm not reading it. I'm listening to it.
Yes,
And
same.
So if
already
you interviewed Chris Voss, then raise your hand.
already I'm starting to use some of the language, some of the questions, the open-ended, the what and the how in some of my sales calls, and it's amazing. It's one of the best books I've read or listened to in a long time. Fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. Who can tell me about getting to know? Who can talk about that for a second? Because that really is applicable to what we're talking about right here. Getting to know. Nico or Chris or Matthew.
You haven't read it yet. It's on my.
Oh, okay. All right. Good.
Just show everybody what the book.
Sorry, I was distracted looking at something else. Do you mean like in the Chris Voss style?
So Chris will talk about, how salespeople typically want to get to yes, but he argues that you actually want to get to know, N-O, as quickly as possible, and how valuable that is. And I'll let, if anyone else wants to talk about, I'll kind of share my take on it, but yeah, go ahead.
The positioning is just, it gives them a sense of power.
Yes.
And yeah, it's mostly about the psychological benefit of helping them say no to something, because in a negotiation, that is mainly what they want to be able to say to themselves and to their boss that they've been able to accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when objections are good, one way to look at objections are, this is what I need to work around before I can start working with you, right? And so objections, as you know, I'm a huge fan of pre-handling objections. So, once you learn or you hear why people choose not to move forward with you, and you hear that more than once, like every time I have an objection, guess what? I add it to my FAQ, or I might decide, the next time I recut my explainer video, I'll work that in. Or like, even as I'm kind of, giving my little 5-minute explanation or whatever, if I feel like it's possible that might be something that they might want to throw out, man, I work that in advance so that it's not a big deal. So, and there are a lot of ways that you can, the language wise, you can handle it. And then I want to get back to kind of getting to know. But again, in this kind of section and talking about objections, we love objections. Objections are really good, because the worst thing that you could have happen is someone just completely disappear, never tell you why, never, if they say no, because my concern is ... thank heavens, right? Because if I don't know, then there's nothing I can do about it. If they do tell me why they don't want to move forward, awesome. Because I can say, and I'd say, honestly, one of the best ways, if I haven't tried to handle that pre-handle that, I really like empathizing with it. And I feel like empathy is that, like, man, like, see, and I love using language like, hey, business leader to business leader, growth director to growth director, CEO to CEO, man, I know, like, in fact, a couple of years ago, like, I was really struggling with that, in fact. And so, and then, kind of then weave that into almost like old school, is kind of like feel, felt, found. So I know how you feel. What I found was, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. What I found was ... So it's a way of, kind of acknowledging what they feel, because we don't want to say, well, that's not right, unless, unless they, we want to validate what they're feeling. Let them always know that they are always in the driver's seat. They are always in control, which kind of gets to, whenever I do introduce a concept, like, for example, and Elisa, don't let me forget, I want to practice, because one thing I want to make sure that I cover in our time as well is I want to talk about the post-interview invite language. So don't let me forget that, or somebody don't, because I want to reinforce to make sure, because I heard somebody, I had a meeting with somebody today, and they're like, yeah, I'm only getting about 2/3 of people or 50% of people to say yes to the follow-up meeting. I'm like, no, you should have 100%. All right. And don't let me forget that. Okay. But
I'm writing it down.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Yeah. Cause I want to make sure nobody's messing that up, because if you get that right, you'll always get the follow-up call. But yes, getting to know is, always, we want to strive to make sure that our client or our guest or a potential customer, they can say yes or no at any point, and we're totally cool with that, right? Because what we're looking for is the opportunity to be of service. And so even like when I introduce, so for example, I say, and by the way, you're welcome to, here's a page right here. You can click on the link and take a look at it. This may be a fit for us. I'm not sure, but it's something that we use with a lot of our other partners so we can help fill, create what will feel like endless introductions, right? But it's completely up to you, right? We'll take a look at that, may or may not be a fit, right? And I treat it like, listen, I don't care either way. I mean, if it's a fit, awesome. If it's not, I respect that. And so, but I let them know that they are the ones that get to choose that. Any other ideas around the concept of objections? Because I'm just going to kind of tee up the conversation. Heidi, I know, gosh, Lisa, I know you guys do some great work around this as well. Catherine, I suspect that you've probably experienced and handled objections before, or sometimes I think maybe if we're new in business, we might be scared of being objected, because what you don't want to do, right, is say they said no to this, or they had an objection to this, and therefore that's an objection of me personally. Can somebody help me with that concept? I'll let somebody else explain how you can work around that. Like I'm looking at like Christopher Didier. I feel like you would have a really good way of managing that emotion.
Yes, thank you, Josh. So essentially, anytime that I have an objection, I always break it apart and bring a different perspective. So if they're saying, oh, they don't necessarily understand or whatever the case is, or like, hey, I'm not too sure financially. So I take a step back. I'm like, okay, let's put the finances aside. I'm like, if finances in this utopian world was not the case, which imagine this product would be for free. Do you think that my service is going to give you massive value of you working with me, and it's going to get you from where you are to where you want to be? So we just take it apart, and then they say yes. So now I'm trying to get them to say yes, and then really isolate the situation. So then we're like, all right, cool. So we understand that that there's value within this product. You know that you want to work with me. You know that there's going to give you some advancing or whatever the case is. Now it's just a finance. So by disassociating it step by step, you're able to see what the situation is, and then we can look at finance or whatever the case is and really make them realize, such as we spoke, I think in the last mastermind, that what is their why, and realize, hey, this little money is blocking your dream. And can we find ways to optimize that, or can we find ways to go about it? And I do the same thing as I'm doing that process. And if it's not the money, then I'm able to say, maybe I didn't explain something right, or maybe they have another objection, or maybe they don't like the fact that we're not speaking like a lot on a frequent basis, whatever the case is, depending what your service. That's the way I would break it down. So I try to break it down to really see what is the actual dot on it. And
yes,
by doing that, sometimes I realize that they didn't understand something, or I just misexplained something. So we're able to put the light on the situation. That's the way I go about it.
Yeah. In fact, Chris Voss talks about that. And one thing because a lot of times when you get a first objection, it's not necessarily what's the fear behind it, right? And I think a lot of times the fear is, I don't want to make a mistake. And so I'm going to say this to protect myself. So I think what I was just listening to, by the way, this is, his philosophy is a little newer to me. I've just happened to be fresh in my brain. But a lot of times what he'll do is he'll just repeat the objection, so he said, well, it seems like a lot of money. He'll go, it seems like a lot of money. Well, yeah. And so without doing it in a way to make it awkward, the way I said it, man, that sounds awkward. But something like that, I think, because what we really want to know is what's behind that. What's the emotion behind that? So
it's like reframing it, right?
Thank you.
Like you want to try to reframe what the objective is, because sometimes what a client or prospect might say their objective isn't actually what the objective is. So it's trying to peel back the onion and realize and try to really, reframe it and understand and pull out additional information from them so that you can, tick them off one after another. It's one bowling pin after another. The other thing I found is I agree, having objections or even a no is not personal, it's business. So we do have to, I think as salespeople and business people, compartmentalize that and realize that it's objective objection to whatever your business proposition is. It's not necessarily, you know, you as a person that they're rejecting. And then the last thing I would say is I would rather get objections than no response at all, because at least there's a level of engagement. So, you know, getting objections is actually a really good thing, because you're one step closer to getting to yes by getting, you know, having the no's, than if they just go dark on you or shut you out altogether.
Yeah. So a reframe for ourselves emotionally or personally is like, you know, feel grateful that they trust you enough to kind of share what's on their heart or what's on their mind, rather than, I don't care what they think or don't think, I'm out of here. Right. And so,
yeah, I mean, being empathetic, right? That you mentioned earlier, like in Chris's Christopher's, you know, is I can understand that this is expensive, you know, it is expensive, but, you know, is there a way that, you know, but it is stopping you from getting to your dream. So is there a way that I can get you comfortable with the finances on a payment plan or something where, you know, and so just empathize with where they're at and understand, whatever the objection is, I think is really good. But I think to me, getting objections is actually a positive buying signal, that they're trying to figure out.
They're trying to figure it out in their mind.
Figure it out of how to get there, right? Like, and help me get there by, you know, helping me overcome these things that are stopping me from committing.
Yeah.
Josh,
Nico, by the way, if someone's not seeing the chat in there, Nico, thanks so much for sharing those resources. Nico's been doing color commentary during the conversation and sharing resources. Thanks for that. What's that again?
Practical empathy. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh, if I can chime in here for just
Please.
a second. Chris Voss and this book are hands down the single biggest resource that I share with all my coaching clients. Absolutely hands down. There's no negotiation book I've ever read, and I've read Getting to Know, I've read Getting to Yes, I've read all the relevant ones. There is not a single person on the planet I know of that does better than Chris Voss at teaching people how to stand up for themselves in an ethical and credible way. And the calibrated questions section of his book is one that you should pay extreme attention to, because the calibrated questions are the most important piece. Like mirroring good, start with no, awesome. Understanding how 73855 works, which you'll learn if you haven't gotten there in the book yet. The power of the word how. But calibrated questions, examples of calibrated questions, by the way, are like, what makes you ask? I sent you guys a cheat sheet. I'm literally looking at this cheat sheet, and I look at it all the time. Questions like, what makes you ask? What about fill in the gap? Important. Where I said, what about I just want to know that I'm not getting raked over the coals when I've brought someone to the table and not you. And I was like, I understand. So let's talk about that. How can this is my favorite one, by the way. How can I help make this better for us? That's one that just completely put people on their heels. If they object to something and you come back and say, oh, I get it. How can I help make this better for us?
For us, right?
Yeah, we're sitting on the same
that.
side of the table negotiating against this deal. Right now, like we're negotiating against this nebulous thing.
Yes. I love the illustration. I've used this before I learned that Chris Voss uses it. So one, in terms of the dynamic between two people, old school is salesperson on one side of the table and client on the other side of the table, right? And it's like it's a battle, and you're going to use these old school Tom Hopkins objection manipulation type stuff. And consumers are way too savvy and sophisticated for that today. You're not going to, a fancy closing technique's not going to work. But I love, again, it's like, imagine yourself shifting your chair to their side of the table. Like I do this a lot with customer service. So on Savings Angel, my consumer skill type stuff, when I call customer service, I never, like my wife, I'll hear her say the phrase, you guys did ... and took my money. I'm like, don't say that, right? Because you just put that person who could be your advocate on the bad guy team, right? And so it's not her fault. She didn't do it, right? And so a better language in that, by the way, is just like, man, here's this situation. If you were me, like, what would you do? Like, how would you fix this? Like, you know, the inner workings of this, like, help me out. Cause I'm just a dad, right? I'm just a guy. Like, I'm just trying to save my family some money or whatever. Like, and I'm sure like, you know, all about that. They're like, yeah. I'm like, so what would you ask for? Like, what would you do? And so that is a great, like, that's, you know, when I call customer service, man, I expect great things to happen. So, hey, thank you so much, Nico. I appreciate that. Catherine and I know you had your hand up a while back. Let me go to you first because I saw you had your hand up a little while, and I want to go to Catherine because I know Catherine had some thoughts on objections. And guys, thank you so much for this. I like, seriously, the brain power in this mastermind, in this room is so great. And I really value this every month that we do this.
So, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm not in my studio. I moved. But regarding objection, I was asked to, my other business was asked to send a proposal to one of these major retail companies, similar caliber to Adidas. So it's pretty major. And I got rejected, but because I wasn't upset or anything, but I came from a place of gratitude for my small to medium sized business to compete with global firms. That one, it was a win, even though I didn't win. Right. So that for me was, I'm grateful that I was selected to be part of the proposal. And I'm in that group of contractors now. So I'll just keep on the relationship. I was I'm grateful for the opportunity, even if they didn't pick me. So.
Oh my gosh. Can I just, Aya, I want, listen, if you know, like, it's not looking like you're going to get the deal, be classy. I cannot emphasize this enough. Guys, we are in this way that we, are helping facilitate. This is a relationship first approach. Like, and what I tell people is like, if you're doing this right, you're not going to get a lot of yes and no, right? You're going to get yes or something else. Not me, not now, hey, maybe for right now, why don't we not, maybe we're not ready for this, but let's do something else to go. Like, I am always looking for, how can I support you? What can I do this for you? What other things can I do for them? And I am going to invest into that relationship for years. Raise your hand if you have ever had someone that you spoke to a while back, all of a sudden come back out of nowhere, and all of a sudden they want to do business because you invested. Everybody, right? And so I remember, again, dealing with like a mortgage broker, and I'm like, yeah, these numbers just don't look good. Like, and then he went into his like objection handling and it was fake. And I'm like, dude, it may have worked in the future, but now it's just awkward. Like you left it, it was a bad breakup, right? It's as opposed to, it's just like, Josh, listen, whatever, keep me as a resource. If we never do business together, I'm totally fine, but please keep me on your A team. Like, so that if you just have questions about stuff, dude, I know people, I can make connections. If I can help you save money, if I can help, connect you to someone else, like, just keep my number saved because I would be honored to help you in any way. That's the kind of person that I want to do business with for life. And so, that might, provide some ideas on like, because when somebody, like, I get this, like during summer, different industries are impacted a little bit more greatly than other industries, but summer is called the dog days of summer in sales for some industries. Sometimes people are just like, look, I'm going to be going traveling, I'm going to be doing this or whatever. Let's start in September, right? And so sometimes you get that, like, I'm just like, that sounds great. Let me go ahead and book that right now because I get booked way in advance. I think that's great. Listen, in the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and get you set up in here and let me get this going for you. You can just have that pro bono. And I actually think that's a great idea. So that way you can start working on some of these authority pieces. I'm going to give you some free resources on this sort of stuff. And like, a no does not mean that the relationship is on hold. A no does not mean that the sale is lost. A no just means no to this right now, today. And so what are the other things that we can do to say, I think that's a great idea. Why don't we, so there's another idea. Hey, Catherine Mora, I wanted to go to you.
Thanks, Josh. Something that really, really helped me a few years ago when I'd been having a bit of a dry spell is one of the mentors I was listening to his podcast had said, when people are on a call with you, they're not actually judging you and your ability to deliver. They're actually judging their own ability to reach their goal and their own ability to do what they say they're going to do or their whatever. And that was a really big game changer for me, because I threw away my sales script, for example. And then when I'd have a conversation with someone and they'd say they wanted to write a book, because I help people write books. And I'd say, what do you want to do? What's possible for you when you write the book? Like, what would you like to achieve with it? And they might say, oh, I really want to do some speaking. And if I believed it, I wouldn't bullshit them. But if I believed it, I'd say, I could totally see you doing a TED Talk. And they'd say, really? I'd say, yeah, of course. Why not? And you have the book and it gives you credibility. And I started converting it over 80%, because as soon as people felt like I believed in them, they would say, oh, and it was just person after person. And then that was a massive game changer for me, because I've always been uncomfortable with objections, because I thought I'm not in the convincing game. Someone had made that comment to me once, and I thought, oh, I'm really uncomfortable with it. And then I did some sales training, and I'm still getting over that, to be honest. It still sometimes can be a thing. But the person in the sales training had said, with objections, it's usually the person getting in their own way, because they haven't achieved whatever it is because of some block. They've got a limiting belief, or they've got some identity thing going on, like whatever it is. And they just keep feeding you the same thing that they've been allowing to block themselves. So all you're doing is giving them the gift of getting a bit of clarity on their own bullshit. So you're just asking them some questions that are their objections, to just make sure that they're not just getting in their own way. And I sometimes say, if it wasn't for the money, is there anything else?
Yeah.
Having said that, I've been massively struggling with converting lately.
Catherine, I love that. And you reminded me of something too. And I wonder if anybody else has ever said this as well. Like, I had one person share what sounded like an objection. I'm like, oh yeah, that would actually concern me too. Let's work through that really quick, because if I'll do this. I say, listen, if budget is a concern for you, it's probably not going to be a good fit for us, because I don't want you in a position where you would be stressed financially, because then you're going to be super stressed. It's going to stress me and my team out. And so like, I validate that concern. Let's figure that out and see if there's a way that we can move forward. So I've done that as well, where I'll agree with their objection. I say, yeah, boy, that could be a concern. Let's talk through that really quick, because I don't want to be in a position, I need you to be at a 9 or a 10 if we're going to work together. And if you're not, it could be opportunity cost for me. It could be, I don't want to strain a relationship. Like, to me, our friendship is way more valuable than us making a bunch of money together, quite frankly. And so, I found that that's also pretty helpful. I think that comes organically. By the way, for those of you who are watching the chat as well, there's a treasure trove of people that are like sharing books and resources and all that other stuff in there as well. Look, there's so much more to this. And this, guys, this is so great. Thank you so much for this. One resource that we have not been using very well, and I think I'd like to maybe start using that a little bit better, is our Facebook group. Honestly, it's kind of dead, because I don't monitor it very often. If there is this sort of conversation, if you'd like to find the Up My Influence Facebook group, that would be an appropriate place to continue sharing resources, anything else that we can all kind of support one another. So, yeah. So if you'll just, and I'll share the link, or if you can't find it or whatever, but if you just search Up My Influence, you'll find our page and you'll find our Facebook group. And like I said, I monitor it, but I just don't actively, like, I'm not in there like coming up with questions of the day and that sort of thing. But I'm totally happy to continue the conversation there. One really quick thing here in the last few minutes is I want to make sure that you do not miss in the members homepage, and that is I want to make sure that you do the podcast post-interview invitation correctly, right? And so you're welcome to kind of deviate a little bit from this, but one thing you should not do, I'll frame the example, but let me share my screen really quick so you can see where this is at. So you can watch this for the longer version of this, but on here, you click on how to conduct a great interview. Toward the end of this video, I go through the post-interview invitation. Okay, you should have 95% or better people saying, yeah, totally, that'd be great, right? And if you're not, you got to work on it a little bit. Okay, so for me, what it sounds like, podcast gets done. I'm going to go about 5 minutes over if that's okay. If you need to jump, that's fine. And so if you want to watch the recording of this, that's fine. So I'll just model this for you really quick. I hit, okay. Also major tip. When you are wrapping up the podcast, put your finger up and, Gav Gillibrand from, the GHG method. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks. When they start saying thanks, Josh, I put my finger up like this because I don't want them leaving, right? So I go like this, and then I hit stop on the recording. I say, Gav, that was awesome. Listen, this is going to go live in about 6 to 8 weeks. My team's going to keep you updated on this. We've got a really great audience. I'm so excited. You shared some really great stuff. I'm really excited to share with my audience. And I hope that it leads to some great introductions and some great business. While you were talking, I had a couple of ideas. We're out of time right now, but I would love to continue the conversation. Do you have your calendar in front of you? I say, yeah. I say, great. Do you have time on either Thursday or Friday, right? I try to aim for maybe about 72 hours from then, if that's available, or as close to that as I can. Do you have time on, Tuesday or Wednesday? I've got a 2 p.m. Wednesday, looks like I've got a 10:30. Do either of those work for you? If you do that, they will almost, like 99% of the time, they will say yes. If you say, that was great, do you want to talk again? I don't say that. Whatever, do not ask them, do you want to talk again? Or anything. I had someone that I was talking with, and they were like, yeah, we're only getting about 50% people that want to. I'm like, yeah, you don't ask them. Just like show enthusiasm for wanting to continue to give value, right? And if you say, I have some ideas, maybe there might be some opportunities for us, joint venture or something like that, work together, partner together in some way. I'm not sure, but what does your schedule look like Tuesday or Thursday? And then I just look, like old school sales, one thing that you would do, like if you wanted to get someone's phone number in the past, and by the way, for singles, this might work. When you want someone's phone number, you would say, oh, very cool. What's your phone number? Right. And then you look down and you get in the writing position. And so it's like, again, we want to be honorable in how we're doing this, but so when you're trying to book an appointment, like I'm already busy, I'm looking at my schedule. So I've got let's see, Wednesday at 2 p.m. or Thursday at 10:30. Would either of those work for you? And I'm engaged, like I'm already booking it. So in their mind, they're like, oh, it's too late. We're doing this. Now, I don't want to book someone if I don't feel like there's good energy there. I'll say that's okay. Don't worry about it, right? And I've had some people that are like, oh man, things are so up in the air for me, and that's fine. That's the 1%, for someone like that. But other than that, they always book. And then I say, awesome. I'll book, and I just book it for them. I don't give them my schedule link anymore. My preference is to just have my scheduler open in our CRM or whatever, have it right open. I book it for them right on the spot. Then they don't have to worry about it. I will get nearly 100% of the appointments that I book. right? If I count on them clicking and filling it out in their mind, they're just like coming up with excuses or objections or something like that of why not to do it. Oh my gosh, filling out that form is going to take like, it's going to take like 90 seconds. I don't have 90 seconds right now, or whatever the objection is. So I just do it for them. And then they come and they show up. And again, if you've really already sown those seeds and you've already, really served them and brought value and made them the star of the show, they're going to be thrilled to do so. And almost everybody is like, yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to have that conversation. So anyway, so I just want to make sure, and go ahead and watch that video as well, because I go into some more tips on that. But I want to make sure that if you have any questions on that, or if you ever get like, yeah, I've had a few people tell me, no, what's going on? Practice with myself. Amanda knows this down pat. Elisa knows this down pat. Like, I will help you with that. We'll always work any of that out. So I firmly believe that every problem in sales is fixable. And, if it's working for other people, it's working for me, like it could work for you. So anyway, any final things before we jet out? Thank you guys so much. This is so awesome. And thank you, by the way, for all the resources, everything you shared, all the great ideas, all the books, all the suggestions.
When's the next call?
Yeah, so I will schedule that. So I think here's what we're going to do is next month in July, I'll look at my schedule. So it'll probably be the first or second week in July. If you can't make it live, I'm actually going to do 2 of them in July. One strictly role playing. And we're actually going to practice working through some things. That'll be one. And then the other one will be a little bit more in this kind of format. So I'll do 2 in July. If I can, I got to look at my schedule because I'm going to events this summer. That's my big win. I've got four different events I get to go, or 4 different travels that I get to do this summer.
Are you going to PM in Nashville?
I am. Yeah. Are you going?
Just started thinking about it yesterday when Kate said that she was.
I'm going just to meet my buddies for sure.
Yeah. That's the only reason
Podcast Movement is one of the events. Going to FinCon as well.
I may unconference just so I can go hang out with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I could care less about the sessions or the speakers, right? I don't care. I just want to go and hang with people. So awesome. All right, cool. If there's nothing else, thank you guys so much. Feel free to, again, tag. Can you do me a favor? And again, this is for everybody else watching this afterwards too. I love to death Amanda and Elisa, but sometimes they get tagged, and I don't know if, thank you, I don't get tagged a whole lot, but they get DM'd and tagged quite a bit. We would really love to empower the account manager. If you have an account manager aside from the Amanda that's assigned to you, please let them be your first line of defense. Sometimes particularly poor Amanda gets tagged by everybody and everything and DM'd and all this other stuff. And we have like 95, 96, 7 folks that we're working with. So just try to go to your account manager first. Usually they can solve it. If they can't, then they will absolutely bring in all the big guns. So, but know that I'm always available to you. I appreciate you. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Take care.
Bye, everyone.